India's Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has called for the global Indians to contribute towards development of the nation. India Global focuses on how we can develop knowledge, cultural bond, and economic linkages across the world through fellow Indians. With this, I welcome you all for the plenary session of 34th National Conference, Make in India, the new gateway to go global.
I request Dr. Jamuna, Associate Professor TIAS, to please come and present her paper.
So very good afternoon to all my students. I am Dr. Jamuna, Associate Professor of Management. I am going to present a paper on Make in India and evaluation. The Make in India program was introduced on August 15, 2014. This was a slogan which was uttered by our Prime Minister that come and make in India, go and sell anywhere in the world. The name itself or the slogan itself denotes what is the aim of the actual program. It was actually introduced, it was actually thought about on 15th August of 2014, but it was made as a program on 25th of the same year, September month. So what is the aim of this program? Why this program has been introduced? Because the government wanted to invest more and more in India. That is a major aim. And they wanted to develop the skill of India, because when the Prime Minister was talking in his maiden speech, he told, we are having everything. We are having all the potentials. We are having the skills. We are having the discipline. We are having everything to do. But we want somebody to do the things for us so that we can grow. That's what the aim. And the other aims are to create additional employment. Many people talk today in the morning related to employment, the skill development, all those things. So to create employment, because as he told, we are the youth country, we are young country. The country is lagging behind in employment opportunity. That's what to be developed by this program. And to empower, not only manufacture, and to empower or to encourage the secondary sectors also. So there were 25 sectors introduced by the government when the scheme was introduced. It was told by our director, sir, right from automobiles to electronic items. It was 25 sectors which was treated as core sectors which will be put into the Make in India program. Objective of this study is to just analyze. So far it was introduced in the year 2014 and now we are in 2018. So far what is going on related to this program and evaluation. The method of the study is just a descriptive study. The data collected by, majority of the data collected by the government websites and government related declarations and other things from other websites also. So when in the 2014-15 that financial year's data was placed in the parliament by Mr. Arun Jaitley, our finance minister, he was saying that he was forecasting because of this Make in India, the growth rate will be up to 8% in the year 2015. It was a forecast by the finance minister that it will be growing instead of 7.4% in the year 2015. So from 15 it will be growing, he was saying, for 0.6%. And he said there will be reforms in push for Make in India. That will be there because that is a core aim of the program. And he placed many things, some highlights from that survey, that is over 6% points decline in inflation since late 2013. It was told by him that is there was a decline in the inflation of 6% and current account deficit also came down, and food grain production from 2014 to 2015, it was, they planned it to be 257.07 million tons, which will exceed the entire 5 years by 8.5 million tons. It was expected. Then groundnut production was increased, he told, and recovery of industrial production was also done. Then majority initiatives or implementation for public-private partnership. Now that things are going on in majority of the states states about the public-private partnership, and every sector we can say, including education sector, that was also told by our finance minister. Then after 2014-15 economic survey, there was an economic survey by the same government, that is in the year 2018. In the year 2018, our finance minister again told what is going on so far, that is industries have been grown by 6.6%. It was stable. And IPP, that is Index of Industrial Production, that is also grown by 6.6%, and foreign exchange reserves grown by $400 million, US dollars. Then by the end of August 18, broad money supply, that has also been widened, he stated. Then what is the growth rate of FDI after this program, Make in India program? That is in the month of April-June 2018, our FDI stood US dollars 12.75 billion. So that indicates that as FDI is coming. Today morning they talked that FDI 100% allowed in all the sectors except in space, it was told. So the data itself showed that FDI is being increased. And total FDI equity inflow, that is also got increased. So whenever a new program is launched or whenever there is a new effort taken, there will be, of course, certain criticisms which has to be taken care of. That first criticism, all these criticisms were being put out by former finance minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram. What he told, if a country want to grow, if a country's growth have to be in the ladder, in the top, then the country should make the products which is affordable to buy. That means the factor cost should be reduced. So that is one thing he told. In India, there is no reduction in the cost of production so far, even after introducing this program. So that has to be taken care, that he told. And growth rates of gross value addition, that you can see from the table, that it is for each quarter in the stated years what had happened. It was a criticism that every quarter it went down. Then enforcement contracts, that was accepted by Niti Aayog secretary himself, that he told the enforcement contracts have to be done in a better manner so that we can get many contracts, he told. So how can we justify this? Of course, anything will have its own defects in the beginning. So government will take its own initiatives in future, as Professor Sharma, I think, if I'm right in his name, he told in the morning that we have to think about how we can implement this program or how we can implement these things in our economic growth. So that has to be taken by the government itself. It will take, because the government itself announced that they will take initiatives or they will take adequate steps to come out of all this justification, all these criticisms. So government enforcement, as far as government enforcement contract is concerned, it is not actually completely with the government. This enforcement contracts is more or less, it is of judicial matters. So judicial things has to be get changed, so we can expect that in the future. And as a conclusion, I can say is Make in India or Make for India or Made in India, whatever it may be, it is good for the Indian economy. The thing is, we all have to put ourselves into the program, that everybody should come out with their own idea which will be accepted, that innovative idea which will be accepted by the government, by the policy makers, and which will be financially viable so that we can be succeeded in the program which the Prime Minister introduced. Thank you so much.
Now, I would request Dr. Gunjan Verma, Assistant Professor, and Pavni Anand, Scholar of Kalindi College, University of Delhi, to kindly present their papers.
Respected Chairperson, my colleagues and my dear students, a very good afternoon to all of you. I, Gunjan Verma, working as an Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce, Kalindi College, University of Delhi, along with my student Pavni Anand, going to present my paper. The topic of my paper is Role of Young Entrepreneurship in Indian Economy. So we started with the meaning of young entrepreneurs, meaning and concept. Youth is the prospect of every nation of the earth. When a country has a healthy youth population, you will find the country making advancement in terms of overall development and progress. Youth entrepreneurship has gained more importance in recent years in many countries, including India, which increased interest in entrepreneurship as a way of boosting economic competitiveness and promoting regional development. Youth entrepreneurship is an attitudinal, structural, and cultural process whereby young people gain ability, authority, and agency to make decisions and implement change in their own lives and the lives of other people, including adults. Youth entrepreneurship has an impact on social as well as cultural and economic progress of the country. Now, the reasons and causes of youth unemployment and entrepreneurship are the socio-cultural factors as inhibitors to entrepreneurship. Like in some of the countries, the social and cultural outlook of the societies may not encourage initiatives and entrepreneurship. Many societies expect the youth to obtain education that enables them to get a job and earn salary to support the family. Economic compulsions too can push the families to encourage youth to look for jobs and not look at the opportunities. So next is economic and political factors, like economies which are not growing and are grappling with huge unemployment problems, and this is affecting the youth too. The policy framework, government policies need to encourage and provide opportunities as well as assistance and environment to give impetus to youth entrepreneurship and have got to be implemented at national, regional, and local levels. Policy directives will need to engage the business, banking, educational, and other sectors to be able to deliver definitive steps to encouraging and aiding youth entrepreneurship. Industry support and patronage. Industry can create a very strong platform to help develop the youth and give them the support and guidance as well as opportunities to the youth. Education system and orientation. There is a little or no focus on building and equipping the students with leadership, building awareness, and giving them training for entrepreneurship. Of late, there is a trend to introduce specialized courses and training modules on entrepreneurship in many of the universities. Types of youth entrepreneurship, we start with the innovative entrepreneurship. The innovative entrepreneurship, like the people who think out of the box, innovative new methods, processes, and create new business opportunities out of their innovative ideas are known as innovative entrepreneurs. Currently, we can name dozens of innovative entrepreneurs in the world. Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, etc. other few names. Imitative entrepreneurship, like most of the entrepreneurs in the developing country and underdeveloped countries who bring home tried and tested technologies from the developed world and establish them in the home country come under this category. Fabian entrepreneurship, youth entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs who take on the business from their previous generation and manage to grow the business without taking any major risk of dividing into the new areas but improving efficiencies, processes and scale of operations, etc. are called Fabian. Drone entrepreneurs are the first generation entrepreneurs who manage the business, handed down to them and continue to look at running the enterprise smoothly without taking any kind of risks. Now the role of youth entrepreneurs in the economy, I request my student to please continue with it.
Role of youth entrepreneurs in the economy. First, entrepreneurs create new businesses. Trailblazing offers by entrepreneurs in the form of new goods and services can produce a cascading effect by stimulating related business or sectors supporting the new venture, furthering economic development. For example, a few IT companies founded that Indian IT industries in the 1990s as a back-end programmers hub. Soon the industry gathered pace in its own programmers domain, but more importantly, millions of other sectors benefited from it. So the entrepreneur benefits from a large part of the economy. Second is entrepreneurs create a social change. Through their unique offerings of new goods and services, entrepreneurs break away tradition and indirectly support freedom by reducing dependence on obsolete systems and technologies. This results in an improved quality of life, improved morale, and great economic freedom. Third is community development. Entrepreneurs regularly nurture ventures by their like-minded individuals. They also invest in community projects and provide financial support to local charities. This enables further development beyond their own ventures. Some famous entrepreneurs like Sundar Pichai, Bill Gates have used their money to finance good causes from education to public health. Fourth, entrepreneur add to national income. Entrepreneurial ventures create new wealth. Additionally, increased employment and higher earnings contribute to better national income in the form of higher tax revenue and higher government spending. This revenue can be used by government to invest in other struggling sectors and human capital. Role of government in youth entrepreneurship. The Government of India has undertaken several initiatives and instituted policy measures to foster a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. So our first is Startup India. Through the Startup India initiative, Government of India promotes entrepreneurship by mentoring, nurturing and facilitating startups throughout their life cycle. Second is Make in India. Designated to transform India into global design and manufacturing hub, the Make in India initiative was launched in September 2014. The plan behind Make in India was one of the largest undertaken in recent history. Third is Atal Innovation Mission, also known as AIM. AIM is the Government of India's endeavor to promote a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, and it serves as a platform for promotion of world-class innovation hubs, grand challenges, startup businesses, and other self-employment activities, particularly in technology-driven areas. Some of the successful role models are, first is Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. Okay. So Sundar Pichai is a computer engineer at the current CEO of Google Inc. Mark Zuckerberg is famous worldwide for having developed Facebook. Mr. Binny Bansal is an Indian billionaire, internet entrepreneur. Conclusion. The entrepreneur work as a change agent in the economy of a country. They help in stimulating the growth process by influencing the macroeconomic variables through micro ventures. An entrepreneur respects himself and defends his own interests and needs. Entrepreneurs tend to believe in their own ability to control the outcomes to their efforts by influencing the existing environment rather than leave everything to luck. Thank you.
Now I request Dr. S. Chinnathambi, Professor of Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, to present his paper.
Good afternoon, all present here. So I am Dr. S. Chinnathambi, the Professor, the Department of Management Studies, Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies. So this is 34th National Conference organized by the Department of the Management Studies, and the topic is the Make in India. So I am not going to talk about the Make in India. So everybody involving into the business, it means startup business and existing business, but the nobody concentrating on the nobody means the no top officials, the government officials taking care of the farmers. So if you are here, so the main motive is, so our forefathers, so they were all involved in the agriculture business. It means they are not selling, and they produced the agriculture product like wheat, rice, and other items. So still, if we are taking around 54% of the population, the living in the rural area. So most of them, they are doing the agriculture business, but what are the policies they given by the government to the farmers? So when we are talking about the farmers, so not only the small and marginal farmers and big farmers, it means big farmers and large scale farmers, the small and marginal farmers. So my question is, in this situation, is agricultural policy supporting to the agricultural farmers in the emerging scenario for the growth and development, the economic development in India? So I think most of them, they are unable to answer this question. When I spoke with the people in my location, where I am from, in Chennai, and my research area, I think they are unable to answer this question. So still, they are all having the question mark, right? So actually, so the government is taking more steps towards to the farmers, but the farmers are not satisfied with the government. So if you are finding the farmer suicide, it is increasing day by day. So it means, as per the record and report, it is saying that around 2,000 plus the people are expired in the suicide every day because of the poorness, right? So this is what I am going to explain today. So the introduction part of my question is, agriculture plays a vital role in Indian economy, so it is helping the development of the GDP. And around 55% of the population is engaged in the agriculture and allied activities in the rural areas. Now, the rural area, most of the places, they converted into the construction area. It means they sold to the industry were started all the places. So, in this situation, the government, they taken some initiative to develop the agriculture business. So, our Honorable Prime Minister, he himself started some schemes to the farmers. So, like Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sanjay Yojana, and the risk, whatever the risk incurred during the cultivation, for that, so he himself, he launched another program, a scheme that is called Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So it was started in the year 2016. This is for crop insurance. So wherever the natural calamity, due to natural calamity, some the losses happened. So these kind of the schemes will help them to solve. In my studies, so I am not going to talk all the objective. The main objective is to regulate the major factors that affect the agricultural productivity in India. So this is my major objective. So there are the different factors affect the productivity in India. So one is the rural environment, the high land man ratio, degradation of land, existence of big farmers, irregular and inadequate credit and marketing facilities, lack of modern technology. So these are the factors so affecting the productivity for the farmers. And when we are talking about the economic development of the agriculture in India, so we all know that we are the sixth largest economy in the world. So this is what everybody accepted in the scenario. Actually, so before talking to all that policies, first of all we should know agriculture is the base for the country. So who are all doing the agriculture business mostly? If you are taking the large business, large scale, the farmers, maybe, so they have more than 5 acres. Medium medium scale farmers. So they have more than 5 acres. More than the 20 acres, those who are having, they are all coming under the large scale, the farmers. But the schemes, whatever they introduced by the government, it's supposed to reach to the small and marginal farmers. So those who are having less than 5 acres. So they are called small and marginal farmers. So the small and marginal farmers, they are coming under the financial inclusion category. It means they are excluded from the financial inclusion because they were not utilized any support from the government. So financial exclusion, the who are all coming under the financial exclusion, so it means the slum dwellers, the senior citizens, so small and marginal farmers, so they are all coming under the financial exclusion. So for that, the government, they decided, I think not only today, so in the previous government already they decided to include all the farmers to the inclusion. So for that, so they decided to open, they decided to help them to open account with the bank with the zero balance. So that is called no frill account. So now our honorable the Prime Minister, when he came to the force, so immediately he announced that so every individual has to open the account with the national as well as the private banks. So that is called financial inclusion. So no, it means no frill account. So in this situation, what he thought that, so if they are unable to open the account, if they are not unable to open the account, so the government themselves will deposit 5,000 rupees as a OD for the individuals, in every small and marginal farmers. So the bankers, they are not ready to provide this kind of support to the farmers. So always, so that's what in the very beginning I told you that there are the two things, there are two sources are there to get the credit from the public, from the different sources. Either the formal credit or informal credit. Formal credit, so they will get the loan from the bank. The bankers, if they are not providing the facilities, so automatically they will go to the informal source, so the local money lenders. So the local money lenders will charge more interest at the time of the lending money to the farmers. So this is the one reason why more the small and marginal farmers are suicide. So this is the one reason. So the government, the government itself, they taken more initiative to create an awareness among the small and marginal farmers to develop their business in their own place. So this is actually I have taken all the information from the secondary data. So this is the one thing, the area, production and yield in major graphs. So if you are taking from 2014-15 to 2017 up to 2016-17, so slightly it is modifying, it is changing from the one by all the crops like rice, wheat, courses, pulses and food grains and oil seeds, sugar cane, cotton, jute. So these are all the day by day increasing. It means year by year increasing. But the thing is, if it is increasing one side, the large scale, so they are talking about so it means the large scale, the farmers, they are showing the original, the information. So this is what they collected. This is the information which I received from the Department of Agriculture, in the Ministry of Agriculture. So from there I got this information. But the thing is, so if you are going through if you are taking a rice, so in the 2014 and 15, that hectare, so it means 441.1 hectare, it was the cultivated. So likewise, if you are seeing in the 2016-17, it was increased 2,550 hectares. So it means it is developing. This is one side. But we can say the policy which is initiated by the government, whether it will be reached to the farmers or not, that is still is a question mark. So still I am searching the answer from the different places. So I am taking the more, I'm getting more information from the net as well as the government, the reports. So whether the policy is reached to the farmers or not. So this is what I am expecting. So, and the conclusion part, the agriculture sector is a vital importance for the reason it is undergoing a process of transition to the market economy with substantial changes in the social, legal, structural, productive, and supply setup, as is the case with all the sectors of the economy. So again, I'll tell you one thing. So the agriculture is the vital role in India. So the government should support to the small and mainly small and marginal farmers. If they are supporting to the small and marginal farmers, so the government can reduce the suicide part from the small and marginal farmers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Dr. Rashmi Chaudhary and Ms. Chetna to kindly share their research paper.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Rashmi Chaudhary, and she's my student Chetna Arora, and together we are presenting a paper on impact of e-commerce on the Indian economy. So we have taken a brief introduction, what exactly we're taking up. As far as there are some facts related to e-commerce, the e-commerce market in India has enjoyed extraordinary rise of almost 50% in the last 5 years. And the trend of e-commerce has been evolving in India for more than last 12 years. The use of internet and it has actually altered the way the enterprises they do business. And e-commerce is also bringing transactions online, which make the system more transparent. So we're starting with the basic concepts of e-commerce and on. As far as e-commerce or electronic commerce, as it is known as, it is somewhat a methodology of modern business which addresses the requirements of business organization. I'll quickly move on to the types of e-commerce. So we have talk about 6 major types of e-commerce. That is business to business, business to consumer, consumer to consumer, consumer to business, business to administration, and consumer to administration. So I think we are all aware of all these. We can skip up this slide. Next, we'll talking about entrepreneurship. As far as we have discussed all these things in the morning also and so on. So entrepreneurship is the process of designing, launching, and running a new business and managing the risks involved, and that is to make a profit. And the use of e-commerce is somewhat what we said is that if information technologies are adopted, the entrepreneurs can be more efficient and innovative, they can explore more opportunities and access new markets both locally and internationally. So somehow that is how we have linked the e-commerce with the entrepreneurs. Then the next we have taken up how come e-commerce, it can help entrepreneurs, whether it's a boon or bane. I mean, whether it's going to help them out or not. So entrepreneurs are considered to be the only realistic employment opportunity creators in developing countries, and they have significant role in supporting the economy at times when the economy is at its low. It is somehow inherent that there are many issues and constraints that impede the growth of entrepreneurs. Now, coming specifically to the benefits of e-commerce to the entrepreneurs, the e-commerce technologies, they enhance the internal business processes. E-commerce unleashes the marketing potential for the business. It increases the customer satisfaction, and it acquires a competitive advantage by understanding and adapting to the changing client needs. Now, as far as the impact, we are not talking about the impact of e-commerce on the Indian economy, we're talking about the general economy as such. So in economy, we talk about 3 main players. We have sellers, we have suppliers, and we have customers. So when it comes to sellers, the e-commerce, it will smooth the cash flow by executing the transactions electronically. For the suppliers, the most important advantage is they'll gain by applying e-commerce technologies. Then for the customer, we expect the prices to be lower down. Then we have taken a general impact on the economy, taking different sectors. The sectors where we find the impact of e-commerce and a positive impact of e-commerce is, in case of technologies, we find improvement in technologies in terms of logistics, in travel and tourism, education sector, e-retail, and other industries. Here, other industries, we talk about banking and so on, and then we talk about some support industries also. Okay, now I want Chetna to continue with it.
Now, Positive and negative impact of e-commerce. Positive, energy consumption and cost reduction. As negative, its privacy and security. Now, challenges and strategies. Global expansion of e-commerce will create new challenges for small businesses and entrepreneurs. This section examines both challenges and strategies. The most common e-commerce challenges in India: lack of proper knowledge or market research, choosing the right product, profitability, inventory, returns and cancellations, promotion, challenges, packaging, working capital, legal barriers, and changing marketing trends. Now, the strategies to overcome the challenges: verification of customers' information, competitor analysis, maintaining customers' loyalty, problem of product retain and refund, the struggle of competing on price and shipping, competing against retailers and manufacturers, and problem of data security. Now, by the concept of Make in India, we have some case studies of our successful role models. Jeff Bezos' e-commerce startup story, Amazon. Jack Ma's e-commerce startup story, Alibaba. Now, we are going to conclude here. The entrepreneur openness and readiness to adopt e-commerce is an essential tool for success of entrepreneur business. E-commerce has radically changed the dynamics of the business environment. The adoption of e-commerce has been potential benefits of entrepreneurs, such as cost effectiveness and flexibility. These preceding benefits help in the adoption of the e-commerce by entrepreneurs, and they are more likely to adopt e-commerce. The contribution of e-commerce to GDP is around 0.2% now, and it is expected to grow 15 times to around 2.5% by 2030. The impact of e-commerce is visible on all the major sectors of the economy, like education, banking, travel and tourism, retail industry, technological development, etc. As the seller establish and grow e-commerce store, they will face challenges that require creativity and business tactics. The business strategy should not miss to foresee the potential barriers of growth. Although it is not possible to resolve all issues, however, interception and planning can help to deal with some of the common challenges that e-commerce store owners face. And here are the references. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I request Ms. Anjali Yadav, research scholar, to present her paper.
Respected ma'am and all my dear friends, the very good afternoon to all of you. Here I, Anjali, presenting on women entrepreneurs, challenges and action taken. Before I start, I just little brief you about my research. I start with little introduction of women in India. Women receive secondary education 27%, and parliament seats held by women 12.2%, and women need permission to visit a healthcare 80%. And the rank out of 114 countries on the health and survive in World Economic Forum report is 142. In India, it's only 14%. So, here is my topic, the women entrepreneurship in India, challenges and action taken. I'm presenting in behalf of Dr. Isha Jain. She is the government technical analyst from North Cap University, and I am the co-author of the research, Anjali, from Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies. So, before I start, I just want to ask, when you heard this word, woman entrepreneur, what comes first in your mind? Anyone like to share something? No? Okay. Women entrepreneur may be defined as a woman or a group of women who initiate, organize to run a business enterprises, as government define women entrepreneur as owning and controlling the enterprise, with a woman having a minimum financial interest 51% of capitals, and giving also 51% of employees generated in enterprises to women. Now my objectives: to find out the problems and challenges faced by women entrepreneurs and the steps taken by the government. The third, the suggestions and the growth women entrepreneur in India. The research methodology, this paper is descriptive and it's secondary data reported from RBI, but it's analyzed data, census survey, SSI report, newspaper and journals. So challenges faced by women. So it's perpetual male dominant social order. It's basically male member thinks big risk financing the venture run by a woman. Male chauvinism is something that's still in the part of country, but not related to early. They think they don't consider man and women equally. They think the ladies like abla weaker. Now the stiff competition is there in many countries, treated equally, man and women. Lack of self-confidence. For example, if even I also face the same thing. Actually, I have a family business, but somewhere I think if I am not able to do, my parents having lot of expectations. So somewhere in my mind, I think I'm not able to do this. I want to do something own, unique, create my own. Social pressure is very, play a major role in problems, challenges faced by women, because if any one negative comment drop their energy for the work, limited women mobilities, and the family barriers and obligation. Obviously, if family not support, husband not support, or friends not support, it directly demotivate the women. Absence of proper support, lack of awareness. Maybe in world, the women are not so much aware about the loans, schemes, forms. Achievement and motivation of a woman, liquidation of a woman entrepreneur, and the lack of education. Because of, in India, there are so much huge percentage, at least 45% of women are illiterate. Unlike man and women mobility, they consider if a man booked up a room for a business purpose, they don't consider anything. But if the women booked up room for a business purpose, it looks suspicious. Imparted training. Steps taken by a government. In first two 10 5-year plans, government organized the Mahila Mandal Yojnas and the agriculture development programs, and supported the female education in major welfare measures, and the women welfare, and the right training programs and skills. In after 2002, the government implement new forums, integrated rural development programs, Khadi and village industries missions, training Minister's Rozgar Yojana, Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, and entrepreneurial educational development programs. So in that, the goal to raise the living standards of our rural areas and providing employment and skills development training to the poor, and formed under the Act of Parliament. It's the where the government pages the employment, employ the pension schemes started from 8.33% for those employees for the first 3 years for their jobs. And the proposal to make applicable for those who are unemployed, or you can say semi-employed or skilled, unskilled, and management of development. The working women forums, the Indra Mahila Yojana, Indra Mahila Kendra, Mahila Smriti Yojana, Mahila Vikas Nidhi, and NGO credit schemes, and Rajiv Gandhi Mahila Vikas Priyojana. These are the forums and schemes which government implement for the women growth. Now the suggestions: awareness program, organized training program, establish all Indian forum to discuss the issues, increase in mobility, self-recognition and growth, provision of various amenities, spread information and plans and strategies, various NGO and government organization. I think in Tecnia also we should start some awareness program so that the girls which are studying in this college, they come to know what we do next. We are doing MBA, BComs, but we know what the things we are coming here, but we don't know what we do next and how to do next, how to do. So I think awareness program in a huge scheme should be organized. Now the conclusion. It tends to be said that the today's we are in superior position wherein women's participation in the field of entrepreneurs is expanding at the impressive rate. Efforts are being taken by the economy and the broad promises to equality of opportunity on all spheres. As I said earlier, the 14% of the females are empowered, and the ability to improve the projects to the women, the job for a woman's business person, and the monetary advancement of the country likewise being perceived, and steps are taken by a woman entrepreneur. So I would like to share this quote by Shari Sandberg, Chief Operating Officer, Facebook. I want every girl who's told she's bossy to be told instead has leadership skills. Thank you.
Starting up, I request Ms. Chehek Arora from TIAS to kindly come and present her research paper.
Good evening, ma'am, and my dear friends. I am a BBA student in TIAS, and my topic is Make in India. Make in India was introduced on 25th September 2014 officially, and its main aim was creating 100 million jobs opportunity for the youth, and a manufacturing hub in India, and it mainly covers 25 sectors, mainly automobiles, textile, garments, etc. The logo, as we have seen, the logo of this Make in India campaign has been a lion. This has been inspired from our national anthem, and the wheels and the lion depicts the strength and the success of this program. The major objective of my study was to get an overview, and main focus areas were also studied, and initiative taken by the companies, and the major challenges and the impacts of Make in India initiative. So mainly it has very large impacts, but these are the very important sectors which was seen as an impact. Globalization and labor reforms. Earlier we have seen in 1991 the LPG policies that were introduced was the major outbreak in our economy. Then afterwards it's Make in India, which was launched in 25 September 2014, and employment creation. Definitely it has created an employment for the people, because the soul and the tagline which we say is about sell here, sell anywhere, but manufacture in India. Economic development. Yes, surely economic development has been done through this program, and there is ease of doing business. From my study, I have studied around 140 papers, and some of these are by K. Kalvini, 2015, and the main topic of this literature review was impact of Make in India, and few more also. It has been an exploratory research, and the data collected is from the websites, and the numericals data is collected from the Ministry of Commerce, Government India, and RBI. The findings were the job opportunities are multiple and the open door without any limitation. Definitely, yes, the jobs has been created. Initiative creates awareness about growing technology. Yes, when people from the outside foreign country come to India and make their product, definitely we know about their technology also. Make in India will help in boosting the trade. Yes, it will. HR and financial assistance will play a major role. To highlight the Make in India a Manufacturing Hub campaign, to identify the real opportunity and challenges, business can be done easily in India, attracting overseas company to set up in India. At last, I want to conclude that Make in India is not a brand or a national movement. It should be seen as a whole spectrum of a government, society, and a business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I request Mr. Inderpreet Singh and Ms. Sonia Gandhi to come and kindly present their papers.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Inderpreet Singh. I, along with my colleague, Ms. Sonia Gandhi, going to present you the paper, which is Impact of CRM in Life Insurance Industry in 21st Century with respect to Make in India. So let me start off with the introduction. That is, life insurance being a measure of social security to be insured as well as dependent is also necessary for the economic development of country. Like we are doing insurance of our life insurance, car insurance, property insurance. These insurance are basically enacted by IRDA Act 1999, where on one hand this sector has been opened up for competition from the private players, like SBI doing also the insurance, ICICI Lombard. And now what is CRM? CRM is called Customer Relationship Management, that is to building long-term customer relation with your customers, not only internal customers but as well as external customers also. Internal customers are your employees and external are your retailers and term customers. So now my paper it's an attempt to be made to track and for the various strategies and initiatives made by these companies, especially service sector, as insurance comes under service sector. So how they are doing their customer-centric architecture for the services being offered by these companies by mapping the challenges and shortcomings choking the path. And now I have covered these following objectives: to study the depth, the life insurance perspective in India, to explore and study the impact of economic boom and growth on the practice and summons of life insurance industry, to study and bring forth the various strategic innovations and initiatives taken by the life insurance company with respect to CRM, that is Customer Relationship Management. And now my research methodology, which is adopted by analytical and comparative approach. The secondary research is in the sense of collecting data and analyzing relevant literature, empirical data. And now I'll be covering the life insurance industry analysis, which is covered the strengths and weaknesses. India is the fourth. Now first let me cover the strength. India is the fourth largest economy in the world in terms of purchasing power parity. India has the largest number of life insurance policies in force of the world, as we have the largest economy, second largest. India has the highest saving rate of 21% of GDP, which is a massive insurables market. And now let me cover the weaknesses. Besides the second largest economy, there are only 3% people who are just insured, and the rest of the population is still uninsured. And now market growth largely investment driven, protection market still underdeveloped. So now my colleague Ms. Sonia Gandhi will continue.
Thank you so much. So let's now have a look at the CRM and the innovations and the various strategies which have been adopted by the companies so as to take it in the digital world into which we are now. The first strategy is the bank assurance. Hereby it's a provision by which the insurance policies are being sold through the bank. For example, we have LIC, they have a tie-up with Vijaya Bank and the Corporation Bank, and Birla Sun Life Insurance Company Limited, which have the tie-ups with Andhra Bank and the Bank of Rajasthan. Second is the microfinance, which is providing financial help to the weaker section and to the people residing in the rural areas. Third is the networking, which is like connecting all the offices and branches so that the data could be captured real time. Online MIS. In today's world, more than laptops and computers, people are using internet on the mobiles. and all the searches that we are making, that is being tracked. And through this digital marketing, the people are able to gather the information and they're able to target the customers. And the next is the mobile telephony. This features automatically keeps sending out intimations and the messages through the website. CRM and life insurance and how this is empowering the customers. The first is auto-generated messages and premium reminders. In nowadays, we can see that if we have some kind of a insurance policy we have taken, and we keep on getting a lot of messages from banks which tell us about the bank balance that we have, the transactions that we have done. Similarly, for the life insurance, we get the reminders about when the policy is due, when the maturity is happening, and when the payments are due for it. The next is the customer intimation. Any kind of a new launch in terms of policy and the new products that they're coming up, they're able to update to the customer. Next is the online portfolio access. In today's world, just on a click away, we can check our accounts. We can get the complete detail about the portfolios and the profile that we are maintaining. Next are the analytical tools. These analytical tools, in cooperation with the digital marketing, they are helping the companies to analyze the insurance need, the product need, and the wealth potential of the customers. Benefits of CRM in life insurance industry. Through this CRM, which is customer relationship management, and through the digitalization, the information is readily available. It's 24/7, anywhere, any part of the world that you are, you can log in and you can have your details ready with you. Next is the automation of almost all the vital internal operations. For example, billing, claims, maturity, rating system and all. Earlier, we used to stand in queues in the banks, in the offices, but now that work has been done, digitalized, and everything is getting, automated. The next is reduction of operation cost and the business trade cycle time. The overall operation cost have been reduced because manual and customer handling has been reduced now. Things are being automated, and what we need is a strong website. What we need is a strong customer care center. So overall setup of the branches, which leads a lot of capital investment, that has been reduced and which is helping us to maintain the margins and the profits. Next is the CRM projects act as a catalyst to deliver higher quality service while reducing the operating cost, which I already mentioned. Conclusion, if we talk about, and the points that we have already covered earlier, that if we look at India as a country, here only 3% of the population is being tapped by these insurance sector right now. So there's a huge gamut of population which is still there to be tapped, which is still there to be taken care of. And being into the insurance industry, which is like a service industry, if we are able to understand the customers, if we are able to relate to them, if we are able to build long-term relationship with them, definitely we'll be able to retain them and go ahead with our business successfully. Further suggestions are that it's important that we customize our products and we try and make the products which are closer to the customer or as per the need of the customer. Next is that we still need to educate the people of India. As we mentioned, only 3% of population, people need to understand that this is a security product. This is required for their family, this is required for themselves and for the well-being of their dependents. The company should strive to differentiate their offerings because they are very limited players and the products are also very homogeneous, very similar to each other. So we should try our level best to come up with something unique. A USP has to be there so that customers feel associated with us. The next is that through digitalization, though we have made the entire process customer friendly, now it's a click away. But on the other hand, a lot of digital frauds are also happening. We should be able to save our customers through this. For example, like few times back, there was a news that all the data that we share on Facebook, that has been shared to the marketing industries, marketing companies. So we should be, if we are into this sector, we are into insurance sector, whereby the accounts details are mentioned, the financial details are mentioned, we should keep the system intact so that the details, the personal details are not getting leaked and there's nothing, some kind of fraud activity which is happening. Next is that in India, 92% of the business is still done by the agents, insurance agents. We have to make sure that these people, they are skilled, they have that quality, they have the grooming, they have the product knowledge and the right attitude so that they can connect. This is a product which cannot be sold just through, looking at the pictures. We need an assurance. Insurance is all about assurance. We need a person to talk to who can tell us that, yes, this is a product. This is how the company will help us if something goes wrong. And last one, companies should try to involve a comprehensive and a reliable model which can get us the feedback from the customer. Customer feedback is very, very important. If we are able to interact with the customer and understand their feedback, definitely we'll improve in the future. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ruchi Bhala. I'm here to present my paper on HR's leadership role. It is related to corporate social responsibility in business community in 21st century. The objective of my study and this paper was to understand how HR leadership can rescue the challenges faced by the management for the corporate social responsibility in business community. Before presenting my paper, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Rohtash Garg and Dr. A.K. Srivastava for inspiring me to enhance my knowledge through the research and development in this area. Coming on to the term corporate social responsibility, there is no one agreed upon definition of the topic, but still World Business Council for Sustainable Development defines CSR as the business commitment and contribution to the quality of life of employees and their families and the local community and society to overall to support sustainable economic development. CSR can play an important role in making India skilled and have a workforce skilled in the manufacturing sector. CSR in business community today. Worldwide companies and their leadership are focusing on how to strategically include CSR in the business goals and objectives. There is growing evidence pointing to the validity and demand of the CSR. 82% of the companies noted that good corporate citizenship helps the bottom line, and 74% of them said the public has the right to expect good corporate citizenship from them. Mr. Jayant Krishna, CEO of National Skill Development Corporation, says that industry needs to intensify funding part of the training cost as an investment for skilling up and upskilling its own manpower and adopt skills development as a significant component under their CSR efforts. He further continues that I am confident that with adequate support from the industries and corporates, India can surely become a skill capital of the world. Skill training can prove to be a good choice for CSR activity as it might end up benefiting both the company as well as the trained employees. Development of CSR in the organization. It developed through 3 generations. The first generation has demonstrated the companies can contribute to society without risking their commercial success. Today, the second generation is developing more fully as CSR gradually becomes an integral part of companies' long-term business strategies. Finally, the third generation will address significant societal issues such as poverty and cleanup of the environment. So, with these 3 generations, we see the transition in CSR. The old ethic used to say that do the minimum required by the law, but now you have to do the right thing. Earlier, they used to keep a low profile, but now they have to show that they are doing right thing. Earlier, they used to downplay with the public concerns, but now they seek to identify and address public concerns. Earlier, reply to shareholder inquiries was as and when necessary and demanded, but now they have to be responsible towards the shareholders' demands. Earlier, they used to communicate on a need-to-know basis, but now they communicate openly. Earlier, decision-making was on the bottom line and laws alone, but now it is integrating all of the above into decision-making. There are these challenges in the business case for CSR. First is accountability and transparency. Open, reliable, and regular reporting of companies' performance, known as accountability and transparency in CSR terminology, is quickly becoming a public issue and one that HR leaders will need to keep in the forefront. The talent war. The next challenge is the talent war. With anticipated labor shortage in the next 10 to 25 years, Attracting, developing, motivating, and retaining talent is and will continue to be very important, crucial for the organization. Correspondingly, CSR influences a company's competitive advantage today through two key value drivers. First is company reputation and brand, and second is human capital. HR leaders have begun to assume leadership roles to address both of these areas. The next, I would say that current industrial model of growth developed when water, land and energy were plenty. But today, water is scarce, land increasingly under pressure and energy increasingly expensive. Making in India is not exactly a cakewalk even if government regulations and approvals become easier. Adi Godrej, the chairman of Godrej Group, had mentioned in an interview that India suffers from unemployability and not the unemployment. According to him, many jobs lie vacant because adequate people with adequate skills are not available. So here HR leadership comes to the rescue. According to SHRM Workplace Forecast, key HR trends are demonstrating HR's return on investment, HR's role in promoting corporate ethics, and building people management and human capital components into key business transactions. HR leaders, as a result, are taking actions now. For example, 63% of them are increasing spending on learning and training initiatives. 40% are changing company policy as a response to the environmental issues. 36% are changing company policy as a response to grassroots pressure to change specific business practices. 32% are increasing involvement into the social programs. HR CSR checklist includes three things. First is ethics. Ethical standards and practices are developed and implemented in dealings with all company stakeholders. Second is employment practices. HRM practices promote personal and professional employee development, diversity at all levels, and empowerment. Employees are valued partners with the right to fair labor practices, competitive wages and benefits, and a safe, harassment-free, family-friendly work environment. The third one is community involvement. That requires public relation as well. The company fosters an open relationship that is sensitive to community culture and needs to play a proactive, cooperative, collaborative role to make the community a better place to live and conduct business. To conclude, with the growing importance of human capital as a success factor for today's organizations, the role of HR leadership will become even more critical in leading and educating organizations on the value of CSR and how best to strategically implement CSR policies and programs domestically and abroad. Companies have integrated CSR into their leadership process says that they have experienced better risk management, lower cost of capital, and improved staff retention. Their view is that accountability adds real bottom line value to the business. The hope is that knowledge gained will yield to the better understanding of how to develop new leaders who walk the CSR talk. The suggestions of this paper are networking with other HR professionals to learn about how other organizations' CSR initiatives are, what worked and what the lessons learned by them. Second suggestion would be exploring partnering with other organizations like co-sponsoring the community events. Third is contact business organizations such as Chamber of Commerce to learn what events they sponsor and how the company may contribute to it. Manufacturing with responsibility cannot just be a slogan. The business model needs to integrate responsibility in its DNA. For that, we need to look at a 21st century model of manufacturing. Local partnerships where resources are shared and rejuvenated and not exploited to become a basis for the new responsible growth and employment. Promoting green business models that build on sharing, dematerialization, reuse and recycling of resources. Skill training can prove to be a good choice for CSR activity as it might end up benefiting both the company as well as the trained employees. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Ms. Parul Puri to kindly come and announce the best paper of the session.
We have very limited audience over here, and although I was not here with the when Dr. S. Jamuna she was presenting, so I'll not be able to speak much about that, but I have gone through her paper also.
Dr. Gunjan Verma and Miss Pavni Anand, she talked about the youth entrepreneurship. आप जब उन्हें मिले तो आप उन्हें feedback दीजिएगा कि उनके पेपर में ऐसा क्या exploratory था, because they were just talking general about the youth entrepreneurship and how they were able to, how they could not correlate it to the Make in India campaign. They were just here and they have left, so please आप उन्हें feedback share करेगा that their paper were more of descriptive and totally absence in terms of exploratory. Then Dr. Rashmi Chaudhary, she talked about e-commerce. Like, I just wanted to ask the student who presented the conclusion that e-commerce is contributing 0.2% to the GDP. I would like to ask her कि उन्होंने डेटा कहाँ से लिया, कहाँ से कौन से साल का उठाया है, क्योंकि हम जहाँ 2018 में बैठे हैं वहाँ पे 20% के करीब हमारा e-commerce contribute करता है, क्योंकि हर सेक्टर e-commerce के साथ आज linked है. Even a fruit seller, a vendor, vegetable center, he is related to e-commerce. हमारी शॉपिंग, हमारी सुबह से लेकर रात तक हम जो एक ऊबर, एक गैप बुक करते हैं, इट्स ऑल अबाउट योर ई-कॉमर्स. सो आप एक पुराना डेटा उठा रहे हो. देन डॉक्टर एस चिन्ना, प्रोफेसर हु टॉक्ड अबाउट द एग्रीकल्चर, the data which he presented, वो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ऐसा लगा वो उनसे कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट करता था, बिकॉज उनके जो डेटा कहता था वो ये कहता था कि यील्ड पर केजी आपका इंक्रीज हो रहा है. जब आपका यील्ड पर केजी इंक्रीज हो रहा है तो आप फार्मर्स को कैसे कह सकते हो कि वो सुसाइड कर रहे हैं. और उन्होंने कहीं पे भी वो जो अपनी पॉलिसीज़ का रेफरेंस किया था, प्रधानमंत्री फसल योजना, उन्होंने उसका कहीं पे भी इम्पैक्ट को डिस्कस नहीं किया. मैं चाहती हूँ आप जब उनसे मिलेंगे आप उन्हें प्लीज़ बताइएगा, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स स्पेशली, कि जब उन्होंने जो पॉलिसीज़ के बारे में डिस्कस किया, आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग कि वो उन पॉलिसीज़ के रिजल्ट्स को डिस्कस करेंगे, बट दैट वाज कम्प्लीटली मिसिंग. देन वी हैड मिस अंजलि यादव, रिसर्च स्कॉलर, एंड शी टॉक्ड अबाउट वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. अगेन आई डाउट कि आप कहाँ से डेटा उठाते हो, कौन सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से उठाते हो. इट वॉज वेरी वेरी जनरल इन द सेंस कि आप एक चैलेंजेस फेस कर दिया, उसके सॉल्यूशंस, लेकिन it's something that it's already available on Google. I think if just that you are copying paste and presenting it over here, I think शायद being me as a chairperson won't be able to appreciate that. Then we have Ms. Chehek, who talked about Make in India, which was just a journal description about Make in India. So there was nothing much. It was just that आपने Make in India एक website से उसका content लिया है. Then we had Mr. Inderpreet Singh and Ms. Sonia Gandhi, and I was really very apprehensive कि आप उसे, I was really very excited to know कि आप life insurance को कैसे Make in India के साथ connect करेंगे, because you talked about the CRM practices. This, please don't mind, but this conference is all about Make in India. तो अभी आप मेरे सामने हैं तो मैं आपसे ये डाउट क्लियर करना चाहती हूँ. आप अपनी जो आपने CRM practices था उनके बारे में डिस्कस किया, चैलेंजेस, सजेशंस, आप उसे मेक इन इंडिया, विच इज मेक इन इंडिया इज ऑल अबाउट द प्रोडक्शन या इनवाइटिंग मोर एफडीआई, आप उसे कैसे लिंक करेंगे? बिकॉज आपने सिर्फ मार्केटिंग प्रैक्टिसेस के ऊपर फोकस किया, आपने कहीं पे भी उसकी इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रैक्टिसेस या इन्वेस्टमेंट सॉल्यूशंस के ऊपर आपने उससे टारगेट नहीं किया. सो दैट वाज द फेज जहाँ पे मुझे लगा कि अभी आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन पिच पकड़ेगी, अभी आप बढ़ोगे, आगे बढ़ोगे, बट कहीं ना कहीं वो जाके सिर्फ एक डिस्क्रिप्टिव रह गई. Then we had Ms. Ruchi Balla, who talked about the CSR. CSR in the sense कि कैसे हमारी हमारी कंट्री की ग्रोथ के लिए अच्छा है, HR की क्या पॉलिसीज होनी चाहिए. देखने में आई थॉट ये टॉपिक कहीं पे भी मेक इन इंडिया के साथ कहीं रेलिवेंट नहीं था. टू सम एक्सटेंट इट वॉज नॉट रेलिवेंट, बट वट एवर शी टॉक्ड अबाउट CSR, मैं आपको एक फीडबैक दे रही हूँ, आपका टॉपिक मेक इन इंडिया के साथ नहीं कनेक्टेड नहीं था, आप उसको कनेक्ट भी नहीं कर पाए थे, बट as a topic you were able to do justice to your own topic, which I actually liked. The kind of practices, the suggestions which she suggested कि हम क्या policies, whether it's green environmental policies, whatever an organization can do as a part of CSR, to some extent she could do justice to her topic. और उनका जो data था, because if you are presenting a paper it has to be recent. You cannot talk about 2015, 2014, you cannot talk about that. So, I was in bit confusion that who should be rated first. I had two doubts, two confusions, like whether it should be Mr. Inderpreet Singh and Ms. Sonia Gandhi or Ms. Ruchi Bhalla. So, if there is any provision that we can give two best papers, it has to be one. So, on the basis of the justification of the topic, it would be Miss Ruchi Bhalla from TIAS.